I am so bloody silly. I am. The silliest woman in the world.
I was like, it was getting so good. Oh my god, this conversation was getting heated.
The, the fucking
What
the
happened?
fucking oh, my phone died, girl.
Oh
Thank God
shoot!
I have a second phone, but
Oh my god!
it was like shutting down, and I was like,
No!
no.
Oh my god! And it was getting so good too. I was like, no.
I
Aw.
hope I hope that the other life is still saved.
Saved. It should, hopefully. Hopefully. You can
Oh
yeah,
my
it
God.
should save into your settings later. Wow.
Cool.
Man, it was getting so good. But anyways, everything happens for a reason. But no, and we were talking earlier and privately that it's like the last few months has been really crazy. So I'm like thinking maybe I don't know, like for some reason this week everything has kind of fallen into place. So I don't know if maybe those 2 months were kind of I don't know if it's been like that for you this month. It's like things are kind of like
Well, the shift we have been having incredible amount of shifts. Like, I mean, seriously, from CERN on that
oh my
day,
god.
I
Yes.
had I had like literally vision
Oh my
vision stuff happening that I don't even know,
wow.
and ups and down in many areas. But after that, like, I don't know, this week, as we were talking earlier, we feel, I mean, I took for myself, it's like very grounded and very the confidence boost,
Yes. Absolutely.
and just a sense of the healing isn't, I'm not gonna say that we are completely healed, but I can say that the
Like
healing reached a very good point, I
yes.
think.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you guys has been feeling, any of you have been feeling like stuff happening in your healing journey, traumas that are emerging, or if you have been feeling overall a sense of, uh, well, I'm sure most people that I talk to, we all have been feeling like this strong sense of empowerment, like, I have this, we got this, like,
Yes.
we got it, no matter how painful it can go, how disaster, like, we got it, we've been forged in the hardest battle, I believe. I mean, I've been going through tower moment after tower moment since 2019.
Oh
So
wow.
I mean, spirit has been like sending me from one bad experience to the other, to the other, to the other. At some point, I was like, I was like, excuse me, how much more down do I need to go
Oh
exactly?
my
Like,
god. Calling Universal hotline. Customer
oh, well, I'm
service.
gonna go to the center of hell. I'm gonna take a cup of tea with the devil, and then hopefully I can leave.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's a lot of energies, like a lot of energy stuff going on the last few years. I know 2019 was a rough year for me. That was hell year. I like to call it hell year. 2018 was like purgatory, 2019 was like hell. And wow. I mean, I almost didn't make it out of 2018 and then I thought that was bad. And then 2019 happened and I was like, okay, that was really bad. But then again, we're still here and it's like looking back, you can see the transformation, you can see like the renewed sense of growth and
Mm.
increasing in spiritual abilities as well, even though it was rough. Honestly, I kind of dread certain aspects of the spiritual journey now because it's like if you really want to upgrade, you have to go through this like intensity um that is it can be a little scary sometimes. If I'm being honest, if I'm being truly honest, because this is not for the weak. It's
No, well, yeah, but this is, I always say that to people. I'm like, listen, like, I don't know what but this is not for the weak. This is not for the weak.
yeah.
Literally, I say to people, if you don't have cojones, if you don't have like solid testicle, my friend,
Yes.
just, 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 just resign, okay? Just pretend that it doesn't exist. Live your life, and
Oh.
just, but because there is a lot. You have to face your darkness. You have to face darkness that has been in your family from generation and generation. You have to be able to see the trauma in the eyes of your father, that has been done to your father, that has been done to your mother, that has been done to all, like a all way of thinking of people. So you have to literally come out of your body to see that. You can't be a human and judge all of this. So
Yeah.
even if you have a body and you're like, oh, hi, my name is Alice. No, shit, you are not Alice. It's not about a persona. You have to see beyond that. You have to see beyond people, beyond brains, is energy, is pattern of behaviors, and it's
Yes.
like a choice and consequence, choice and consequence, choice and consequence. How they speak, even. Um,
Yeah.
sometimes, sometimes when I hear, my mother speaks in certain way, I get goosebumps now, because it's like, oh my freaking god,
Yeah.
you are using words and sentences that creates a lot of consequences, and you
Yes.
can't, and you see, you're not aware of. So she would say like, oh my gosh, she was saying certain things that, and then you can see the ripple effect of those words. So for example,
Yeah.
I remember, so I borrowed a certain amount of money from my brother. Okay, so I borrowed quite a chunk of money from my brother, and then years later things went really bad for me in my career. I
Oh
took
no.
like risk, and I lost money, and anyway. But the one year I was like, well, I am doing shit, but at least I have the money for my brother, and that for me was the only thing that I cared. I was like, I don't matter if I'm gonna eat tuna in a can for years, but I have the money for my brother, so I will give those. My mother at the phone, so I call her. I'm like, Mom, I'm super happy. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mom, I'm so happy. I've got the money to give back to my brother. And my mom, she's like, oh my God, and how you gonna do it? And how you gonna do it?
Oh, was she seeding like poverty into you? Like speaking poverty over you?
Constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
It's so deeply ingrained in like
It,
not and certain nationalities. I
and
noticed it when I stayed with my mom last summer.
it's,
Everything is coming from a perspective of lack and not enough and conserving everything and
oh,
recycling everything and
oh,
like
geez.
overusing, and it's like, and I'm over here like, Mom, you have to like start learning that there is enough, that you have to keep speaking abundance into your life, and it's hard. It's hard,
But
that
it would be
honestly.
like, even everything, like, even when it was about something good, and this is something that when I was little, I used to literally have like huge tantrum about it. Like, because I couldn't understand. So every time I go to my mom and I say something like, and I spoke about this in my life quite a few times, and people laugh all the time because it's like, so I would say, oh, mom, I'm writing a book. And she would be like,
Oh.
nice. Or I'm like, oh, mom, I'm doing this. Mm. And what about a normal job? You know? And it would be like, there is not even excitement
Right.
for like, if it's like a friend of mine. If a friend of mine tell me I'm writing a book, I will be like, oh, I will be like, oh my god, let's go. What are you talking about? And how many pages did you write and what? Like,
Yeah.
and instead it would be eh, like a fart in the air, like cool,
Yeah.
and then with money it would be, yeah, I would like, oh, I've got the money back from my brother, and you but you gonna make it, but you, and I was like, mom, Jesus Christ, if I'm saying to you something nice and happy and you turn it into a tragedy, why the fuck am I talking to you?
Yeah. I mean, you want to share your excitement because your soul knows that you're going to succeed. But I know for me, my guides have told me to stop sharing with my family or anyone who has ever doubted me because they are literally producing,
I know.
even just with their thoughts, they're projecting that negativity. So it's
And
like,
that is
it's
still one of
hard.
my biggest mistake. It's just because I
Yeah.
can't shut the fuck up. I'm just happy. I'm just happy, girl. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
happy. And even me, my angel was like, shut up. Don't say what you are
Yeah.
doing. Don't say what. But I can't because
I
I'm
get
just
in trouble for that
happy.
too. My guys,
I'm just,
I get in trouble for that too. Trust me, it's hard because we are social.
I
We want
guess,
to share. We want to,
yeah, but I'm like, why the fuck
Yeah.
do
Oh,
I have to suppress my excitement? But
yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. You know, my guides told me that the journey that I was gonna go on, that no one was gonna believe in me until the
oh,
success was. And it's like they told me, pay attention to how people are treating you now, because those are the same people that are gonna come kiss your ass when you're successful. And you're
yes, good.
able to
I
know how to
know.
deal with them. So it's
Mm-mm.
like, don't say anything, pay attention to how they're treating you, and then, and just keep tabs in your mind. Not that you're gonna show it off to them because obviously you're being blessed for a reason. Like your heart is good. You're gonna do good things with that wealth. But it's like it has to do with like just knowing who's fake and who's there for you and who's not. And just realizing that
No,
if
but to
they
be honest with you, all the people that I encountered in my life, like the the all of them that like turned my back on me, and they, I still love them in a sense.
Yeah,
I forgave them, and I don't give a fuck what happened. You see, I
yeah,
don't hold. But again, when it's about success and like when you start to achieve things and then they come back, that
yeah,
is one of the things that really send me like
yeah,
fucking, like my hair goes
yeah,
super
yeah,
saiyan. I want to kill people because
yeah,
like I will never stop to be the cheerleader, and that will not be my, like, it's just what I am. I am the cheerleader. Like whoever have a project I will empower the like all the motherfuckers, no matter who they are, what is their past, whatever. I will empower literally everyone. But if we get taken for granted, and if we have taken for when they come back, I
it's
like to be a bitch.
yeah,
Remember that. I
yeah,
like to be a bitch. I like to serve mwah, some things back
yeah,
because it's hard work. Like people do not understand. Facing all of this shit is very, very hard,
yeah,
and it's not joke. And people would, I even diminish, like they said all sort of things to me, like even in the spiritual, and I don't know if this happened to you as well. Like it doesn't have to come from a person. Literally in my head, it constantly,
Mm.
you are a whore, because I have
Oh,
an OnlyFans, or because I speak about tantric, or because I speak about libido and sexual energy. You are a whore and you're not a spiritual person, or you are not pure. And it's like, you motherfucker, you don't even know what pure is. You don't even, most people do not know what pure. So in our society, and this is the ignorance again, in our society, one person saying, oh, you are pure when you are a virgin. That is a totally made up shit. You need to take a vocabulary and read what pure means. And purity is just lack of bad intention. Or if you're talking about material thing, pure is something that is 100% from one source.
Not
That
mixed
means
with other things.
pure.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was born with an extremely pure soul. And then in the spiritual, because they love to manipulate the divine and they love to misinterpret the divine, they started to associate, oh, you're not pure because you're not a virgin or bullshit like that. And
Right.
that is, you know, it's so much that people would use all those things and way to attack you, but it's all coming from absolute ignorance and not knowing what the hell you are talking about,
Yep.
mostly.
Yep.
And uh,
It has
the
everything to do, like you said, with your intentions, with your intent and the things, the force, the intent is the force that you put behind your thought and action and your word. And that is what gets projected to other people. That's what you're producing out of your body. And it's
yeah,
like the purity of your soul and your heart is what matters most. It doesn't matter. You can keep your body quote unquote pure or no sex before marriage or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't
but
mean anything if you have an ugly soul, if you're constantly putting down other women, or if you're a man putting down other people, or
you can
whatever it
have
is,
your,
whatever
yeah,
evil that you
you
harbor in
can
your
keep
heart.
your leg closed and being a bitch anyway. It doesn't
Yeah,
it
doesn't change
doesn't
anything.
doesn't
Yeah, so it's like it's
purity of
the
something.
intent. Yeah, your intentions, whatever force you're putting behind your thought, your word, and your action that you're producing. There's nothing that matters more than the purity of your heart, I think, in my opinion.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
again, this topic has people don't understand purity in that sense anymore. Purity became a weird.
like physical thing. Yeah. And it's like we're so much more than just the body.
You,
Like associate everything with the body.
yeah, but and also like you can kill somebody in purity. I mean, if I have to save, if somebody is killing my father, for example, and I go and run with a knife, and I mean, it's not because I've done that I become less pure. That like purity takes. I really believe everything is not everything black and white. You can't say this is it and this is not.
Right, right.
You need to really go deep in
Yeah.
whatever is in front of you to understand what purity is.
Yeah.
But
And
there are
it's like
so
case
many
by
things in
case.
the vocabulary that got missed, in
It's a
sorry,
lot.
you were
It's, no, it's such a big topic, but it's like case by case situation. It's hard. It's like you said, it's hard to put into like a box or decipher it specifically because there are so many situations and so many different ways that things can happen. So, but yeah, you were before you were talking about purity. You were talking about words that people have like spoke. Those are things that people say to you, right? Because of what you do on TikTok and things like that. I was reading this book called The Four Agreements. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's pretty popular. But
is
one of
it
the things, The
the
Four Agreements,
is it Toltec one? Toltec.
yes.
Mm,
Have you read it?
mm-mm.
Um, I just recently read this chapter that talked about like words or spells, and we're constantly casting spells. And I was like, it's true, and I've always heard that. But it's saying some people can cast good spells and some people can cast witchcraft or bad spells, and it was so crazy to me because we were talking earlier about the trauma that I've endured has mostly come from women, and it was
Mm-hmm.
mostly their words. Most of it was their words. And I can tell you, I used to go to church. I used to be very like into church, and that's how I started my spiritual journey. And I can tell you, I had people who were like saying they love God and they profess to love God, but they were cursing me constantly, cursing me all the time. All the time they were speaking like negativity and awful things directed at me, and it was done in such a subtle way that you couldn't even make out what they were doing. it was so subtle and so snaky and so sneaky. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like when someone's constantly trying to get you to doubt your confidence or doubt yourself, to
Mm-hmm.
instigate, and it's like they're literally tearing down your self-esteem. In a sense, now looking back, I know that that experience really helped me like to rebuild
Yes.
my sense of self-worth, and I appreciate that experience. But it was a really rough thing to go through, and I'm like, someone has to be really hate filled. They have to really hate themselves to like really do that to someone, you
And
know. And so
is the goal of their life. I mean, Christian are satanic to me.
oh, it's very there's something off about it, like
And that's it. I mean, I know good Christian, but like I was born in Italy. I was born there,
is
and
that
I
where the
can.
Vatican is?
Hmm?
Is that where the Vatican is it in Italy?
Yeah, of course,
Oh,
yeah,
that's where it is. So it's like a Catholic, more Catholic.
yeah.
Um,
But it's the whatever they were doing since when I was young, like it was all witchcraft from the
yeah,
beginning to the end.
really, it
All
is.
witch,
It
and
is.
then people get pissed off when it's like you literally every Sunday symbolize eating the body of your Messiah and drinking the blood of your Messiah, and you tell me that I'm the witch. You know,
Yeah, a lot of
I
it.
do not
Yeah,
eat the body of Christ and I do not drink the blood of Christ. The Christ is in me. The Christ consciousness comes through me. Whoever does that fucked up witchcraft every Sunday on top of a table, like in the Paleolithic, like in, you know, like that is witchcraft. But they're so blinded and they're so brainwashed,
there's a
you
certain
know,
element of brainwashing for sure. Yeah,
they go to church and they do these things because they have been done for fucking generation and generation and generation. So they are all dumb and nobody asks themselves, oh my God, I am actually a cannibal right now. I am symbolizing a ritual that metaphorically is representing me eating the meat of Jesus and the blood of Jesus. Yeah, yeah.
wow. I
Mm,
actually never really understood that part.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I know that when I had my awakening in 2016, Spirit had me pulled from church and then started this process of like pretty much tearing down the programming because I was being programmed. I was being
Yeah.
programmed to see things a certain way. Men are teaching doctrines. They're teaching this like mistranslated word of God and putting their own rules on people, and it's become a business. And I'm like, that's not what spirituality is about. Your spirituality is about your awareness of yourself and your connection to your God, to your creator, to source, and being that expression of love on the earth. And
Yeah.
we
And I
have
mean,
lost touch with like our true selves. Our true selves is
yeah.
spiritual, and it's
But
like
I tell you, they don't know what the fuck they do. They don't question what they do. They just do.
yeah, they don't
They
question.
don't question. They don't question what. No, one of and I was very young. I mean, I argued with priests since I have memory, but I remember then telling me like Jesus is bringing the cross for us, and I remember telling to the priest, Jesus is fucking. You have to carry your cross. You have to heal yourself.
Yeah,
Jesus was just giving you the example of what the fuck to do.
yeah,
He didn't do the job for you. That is lazy. That is um hypocritical.
yes.
Like
No, I agree with you 100%. I
you,
agree with
you
you.
are telling me that somebody came here and did the job for you, lazy ass, for real. So you are telling me that Buddha, Lao Tzu, Jesus, Krishna, um, all these people have done their ass like this in like meditation, contemplation, healing, trauma, speaking to people, getting crucified for you. Not my friend. That is proper like it's
The
you
programming,
being
yeah,
just
it's
being a
brainwashed.
lazy yeah, it's just you being a lazy ass person and not understanding what the actual the assignment was. And the
Yeah,
assignment is that you have to carry your cross and you have to find a way to resurrect and you have to find a way to die and resurrect. And all of us have done that. We all died and resurrected here in this planet, in this is healing.
actually, yeah, an awakening feels like a death of
That
sorts.
is
It
no, but
really
that was the
it,
metaphor of Jesus for us,
yeah.
literally.
So
But
it's
they
an
don't like this, they don't like this. They they create this fucked up satanic ritual, and people. The problem is that the people who killed Jesus created the church, and that's why I'm just
oh yeah.
mind blown when I speak with people. Is like, excuse me, but do you know the story? Like, do you actually know the story?
They actually kept about
Poncio
13,
Pilato was the
11
man who
books.
killed Jesus, and Poncio Pilato is the one who created the Roman Catholic Church. So, I
Wow.
mean, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. They
Like,
omitted like 13 books out of the Bible, and then they also changed certain words that refer to women to make it seem like when the word was used in reference to men, it made them seem powerful, but when it was in reference to women, it made them seem powerful and being submissive, as opposed to being powerful and a force of its own, which
so
is what
yeah,
the word was intended to be. So it's like, why are they misconstruing? What was their point? Their point is to
well, again,
oppress.
to oppress the woman. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
and
when I was young and I used to look, my mom used to take me to church, of course, on Sunday. And there was this painting of Virgin Mary, and then next to it there was again the naked body of Jesus, blood and hanging on the cross. And I remember like telling to my mom, like I was like, and I was telling her, I was like, I see Jesus very different than that. And my
yeah,
mom, my mom was like, yeah, no, that is just the representation. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I remember when I was speaking about Mary, I was like, that is not the representation of that is like okay, is one aspect of the divine feminine. There is that aspect. There is the pure, the kind, uh, but the divine feminine is death. Divine feminine is I kill you. Divine feminine is rage. Divine
yeah.
feminine is the disaster. Divine feminine is the fucking catastrophe in nature. Divine feminine is the scream of giving birth. Like, you
Yes.
can't.
It's many things, and it's like they don't want to admit the negative aspects of it, but it's a part of it. It's a part of it.
It's like
I
you see this Virgin Mary like, oh, and it's like, well, yes, we can be that. That is one side of it all, though.
yeah.
Like
Now,
Jesus in the cross that dies is like, why the fuck would you remember with all the stories that we have about Jesus, with all the fucking thing that he did? Can you explain me why the thing that you chose as a symbol is a cross and him dead on it? I mean,
right. That's
it's
representing that
like
death. Like
Shiva,
you're not
any
celebrating that he rose again. You're not celebrating that he came back to life, that he became whole again. They're not celebrating that. They're celebrating that he was
the
defeated,
cross.
that he was taken out. But I'm like, no, he came back. He rose again. He woke up. Like he became whole and he transcended and he freaking went back to heaven or whatever. The thing is with me is that the biggest problem that I have for me is just when people have their own rules and then they preach over these pulpits to people and they don't encourage people to think for themselves. But they preach these things as if it's God saying them. But it's really just men rules. And
Yeah.
it really bothers me because I'm like, if we have a society of people that cannot think for themselves, that is where we fall. That is where we fall as a society. We have to think for ourselves. You know, it's like they want sheep. They want people that just obey and follow and don't
Yeah, but
question
I
them.
also remember there are sheep that want to stay sheep. Remember that.
That too. That too. Yeah.
Remember that because
Yeah.
there are people that it, they just
Robots. Yeah.
they cannot be anything else if not that. So okay, we can be angry at the system, fine, but also you need to remember that this system exists because these people needs it as well.
Right. No, that too. Yeah.
I met many people that will never like they need to follow. It's stronger than
Mhm.
them. It's something that go deeper than them. They don't have explanation for it, but it's just what is, and there
Yeah.
are many. And so, you know, that's why people speak about New Earth, because it's not actually that we are moving and it's not a new Earth. We're gonna be still all here, but the sheep will stay with what they need, and the shepherd will move in what they need. You get
I
me?
see. Yeah.
There's gonna be simply a division in the earth, but because some people they are not ready. They're not ready to
Yeah.
lead their life. They need to be sheep. They need to have somebody telling them how, what, you
Yeah.
know.
That's kind of like, oh, I guess that's where the frustration comes, I guess, for spiritual people when we're trying to wake others up because of
But
that
because
same
no, but
thing.
that
People
is
don't
not.
want to.
Again, it's Jesus that taught us that anyway. What happened to him when he tried to wake Adar up? He got fucking crucified. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not
Literally
our
by his
mission.
own. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
His
not
very.
our mission to you carry your cross, you heal yourself, and you heal the people that will see Christ in you. They will come to you. They will come to you. You don't have to. You cannot go and wake people up because
Right.
that is not your mission. And if somebody was born to be a sheep, there is nothing that you can like. You cannot undo that. Some soul decided like that, and you have
Yeah.
to let them go, and you work on yourself, and the
Yeah.
people that you are meant to heal will come to you, but you can't
That's
you
actually a
need to.
really great perspective. Like I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's a different perspective. You know, I never saw
Good.
it that way. I never heard of it. Anyone say it like that, you know? As opposed to like I've always been told people need to like I've never heard someone specifically say people want to be sheep. But it's true. I see it
No, no,
in the people
100%, I'm
that
telling you.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people try to mask that and say, oh, we're supposed to be a certain type of way, or people are supposed
Literally.
to wake up. Like the spiritual community, a lot of times will say, we need to wake everybody up, or you know what I
No,
mean? Like,
no. I
oh,
met people who literally had, and I'm not joking, I met people that it got given the blue pill and the red pill. Okay?
oh, that, yeah.
They took the red one, they saw everything, and then they were like, you know what? I'm going back
Mhm.
consciously.
Yeah.
I'm going back. I'm gonna take the blue.
Yeah. No, it's
I
true.
met people that literally got awakened. They awakened their third eye. They
Wow.
couldn't handle it, and they came back.
Wow.
Because again, this is not for the weak. So
Right.
if by accident you want to open and you want to go there and you're not, they can go back. It's a conscious choice. You can't. It's a conscious choice. Can be a conscious choice. You know.
Right. Yeah. But the sad thing is, like, we know that the earth is we're going into this new earth, and it's almost like people are choosing to stay in the old
Yeah.
paradigm. They don't want to move
Yeah.
into the new earth. Like the new earth, you're gonna have such an upgraded body. You're not gonna need to eat. Telepathy is gonna be the new way of of communication. I don't know if you've experienced telepathy, but I have, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
quite
of course.
jarring.
Yeah, yeah,
It,
yeah.
it's quite jarring, but it's I was told that was gonna be very common in the near future. It's gonna be like a very common thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I
The
read the mind of literally most people that I meet. I read their mind. I don't.
wow.
I mean, not. I don't know if it's like I would finish their sentence and then they laugh because they're like, or like if they come in to the door, I know like because I do massages in this place and like people would come in and I would be like, here's some water, and she's like, oh, I was just about to ask you, and I was like,
Oh,
yes, I know.
oh my god.
Or like they, or I remember this girl. She came in and I pointed the finger to the toilet. I was like, there, and she's like, oh my god, yeah, I'm pregnant. I can't. I'm like, yes, I know. Go there, toilet there.
Oh my goodness.
And it's gonna be way more common for us to be that.
Yes.
Um,
Oh my goodness. Like it's
their ego
exciting.
is too dominant. What do
Yeah.
you mean, Bradley? Their ego mind is too dominant because they choose to be sheep. You mean? But yeah, there are people that just consciously, they would. I met a few of them. They were like telling me. They were like, yeah, I know that everything you are saying is right,
Wow.
but I prefer to behave without like I am without this information.
Wow. That's that's
So
crazy. Yeah. I mean, everybody, that's the point of this experience, the human experience is free
mm,
will. Yeah. So it makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, so
Yeah.
many time I used to be like frustrated, or like when I tried in the past. Now, no, but in the past when I was trying to explain to my friend, like what I do or who I am, or and I would constantly be met with like weird comments like, "Oh, you just smoke too much. You're
Oh,
just disillusional, and you're just living in a fairy tale, or you are, almost psychotic for the stuff that you say." And like, not only I've been suicidal for that, because there has been moment in my life that I was like, what the fuck am I like? What I mean, if
yeah.
you
No,
know,
it's hard to experience this and not have anyone to relate to it. It's hard to describe, and then, it's hard to
and
have you want someone to just be able to relate to these
yeah,
experiences. They're very strange experiences.
but not only relate, but also like, I mean, it's not funny to
Right.
be to be in it by myself, and people looking at you almost like you are a psychopath.
Yes. Yes,
And
I
in
know.
reality is no, dude, it's because I know three times the amount of shit that you can even comprehend.
Exactly.
You get me? And there has been moment in which people told me, all sorts of things, and I would be like crying with my heart in my hand and be like, it's just frustrating. And I see a lot of us after the spiritual awakening, they get taken in mental houses, and the government doesn't let you out because it's so easy. It's so the line between genius and crazy is very thin. So
Right.
every time you enter in the spirit, that's why it's not for the weak, because if you speak with the wrong people about it, they put you in a mental hospital. They give you pill
Yeah.
and you don't come out from there.
Yeah.
That's why even Christina, that she was here, we've done session together, and she was like, she wanted to speak with medical people or doctors. I was like, you shut up. Like, you speak to me about it. You do not speak with no doctor. No, do not speak with no psycho person, because the only thing they will do is find the excuses to
To
lock you
medicate.
in and give you pills and keep you in a mental prison and tell you that you are fucked up and you speak with spirit, you see.
Yep.
Um, and
And
so,
honestly, it caused more damage when I went on those anti-anxiety pills
of
because
course,
I needed to like let that stuff, like you said, go through and process through, like, and it kind of, I couldn't even hear guidance anymore. I was like, it was awful.
yeah,
I was
because
like,
the pill make you dormant, um, they numb um, everything. And is that in order to heal, we have to feel everything. So the pharmaceutical industry, they know that. That's why the pharmaceutical company or the pharmacy in general, the symbol of the pharmacy is the Kundalini with the two serpents.
right. Do you know where that came
They
from?
know what
Did
the
you hear
fuck
the
they are
story?
doing, girl. They know
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing. They know exactly that they have to make um, your chakras and the two forces dormant.
Yeah.
So they give you those pills to numb all those symptoms, and instead for healing, literally to heal yourself, you have to go to the depth of all that crap, from the anxiety to the depression to the suicidal thought to the voice to the grief to the pain to the trauma to the memories.
Yeah.
Everything is like a purifier. You are the
Yeah.
purifier. So, oh, hello, Rosa. Long time no see. But
Wow.
the pharmaceutical company has as a symbol the Kundalini with the two serpents. They know the shit that they're talking about. And yet so many people, have you heard Trump making that video saying, oh, you woke people?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to look for it. You know what I hate the most right now is that we're so politically divided. Everything's about politics. We're not looking at the individual for their individual merit and individual fuckery. We're looking at the person as a whole. And the thing with me is like I get so angry when people are like Trump supporters or non-Trump supporters, and then I'm like, you
Again,
know what? We're not supposed to be biasing anything. We need to look at the individual situations because I'm not for or against him, but I do acknowledge that he did some good things. But I can tell you right now, I can't stand the fact that he's so irresponsible with his words and the things that he says because it can cause more problems. So and that goes for any president or anyone. But
yeah,
it's
anyone,
all,
but
yeah,
anyone, girl, anyone, like, this is the
yeah,
point. People are dualistic, and this is why one of the biggest lessons of this planet is transcending duality. But
yes,
many people cannot because they
right,
don't understand what we are talking about. It's like I have been the bad bitch in many past life. uh, Hitler did bad things, but he did also good things, and he might be reincarnated even. So we had him still at some point coming. Every one of us came back. So, I mean, what are we judging really? Are we judging, oh, are you being good or bad in this lifetime? Are we talking about the all of your existence? Are we talking
right,
about what? You
yeah.
know, and Maria, any fucking saint, also look at what is happening with the spiritual. So Tears Kwan and being accused of being a cult leader. People make video about her, blah blah blah. Osho as being accused of being bad and have too much money. Sadhguru is being attacked for other shit.
Who are these
This
people?
been,
Are they people in the spiritual community?
well, they're big guru. They're spiritual leaders of the planet.
Oh,
Osho, Sadhguru, TL Swan. Anyway, but it's like people don't understand. Again, it, judging uh, people are not good and bad.
right,
We
right,
have them both.
right.
So if
That
your
I agree with.
brain can get there,
Yeah,
congratulations. If your brain cannot get there, you will constantly get trapped in division,
Yes.
because you constantly, and everything is, people are good and bad, aliens are good and bad, animals are good and bad, nature is good and bad.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah, it has to there has to be a balance, you know. And
I
I
have
for
been the
me, like
bad person for people, and if one day I will reach, I don't know, I will write a book that become really famous, I will have as much people that love me as much people that hate me.
yeah.
um, and it's gonna be like this for everything you do in life.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
hello, Italo. But
yeah.
yeah, it's transcending duality, and as soon as people keep pointing fingers, like even when they were speaking about Teal Swan, oh, she's this, she's that. It's like, how can you complain about a woman that created healing technique and helped billions of people? Okay, how can you criticize something like that when you have been run by a government that has been doing the most awful thing to you, and you are more concerned about Teal Swan? It's like, believe me, Teal Swan is the last of the world problem right now. you
Yeah.
know, people would get caught up in such bullshit, and they don't see the big picture, or the things that really are what's mattered.
Right.
Uh, they
Yeah.
can't avoid this gossiping, or like, what was the other celebrity shit?
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrity stuff going on right now. I'm like,
Oh
that's
my
all
god, because they love to keep you
distractions.
distracted with the stuff like,
Yeah. They don't want us, and you know it's crazy. They pump all this
oh, Johnny Depp,
bullshit.
Johnny Depp,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
bullshit with that girl and people.
Yeah. And then we're over here, they're not broadcasting, oh, the world leaders got together at such and such a date because they're too busy wanting us to look at this celebrity gossip or these important astrological events happening or these events that, you know, like the Schumann resonance, like none of that is on the news, none of that is on TV, but it's affecting us directly. But no, we want to hear about what's going on in Hollywood, what's going on with sports, you know, and this is like all distractions, politics, even, you know, and I'm like, I think that's the part of me that wants people to kind of wake up because I'm like, there is just so much. Because the thing is, we want them to know because at the end of the day, at some point, shit's gonna hit the fan. And if these people get caught off guard and by surprise, they're gonna be devastated when they lose
Well, but
everything.
that's why I know that we will be vital, because
Yeah, that's
when this mess is gonna hit the fan, I'm telling you, they will come to me.
yes,
Even the one that did not want to come to me.
that's true. You look
They
really
will
different
come.
right now. Oh my god. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just yeah.
because
Wow.
it's like that. Because again, it's not we it there is one very beautiful saying that it always stay in my mind, and it's like, the bees doesn't waste her time explaining to the fly that the honey is better than shit.
Yeah.
And essentially it's the same thing. We know through our own fucked up discovery what is important and what you need to evolve and survive and thrive in this planet.
Right.
We're not gonna spend our time and energy to come and convince you. But when you will be drowning in the shit and you will see me up there with the honey,
Yeah.
then, and only then, your mind will be like, oh, wait a minute. I'm here swimming into the shit and she's up there with honey. Let
Yeah.
me go and ask. But
Yeah.
this is the same ancient shamanic uh, um, way of saying, is like, is when the student is ready, the teacher appear. but
Mm.
it's not
Oh my
that. It's not the teacher that goes around, hey, let me explain. No, it doesn't work like that. The teacher is sitting in his throne and he's waiting for the fuckers that realize that they have to learn something from him. You get me?
You just said something that I dreamt about a couple years ago.
Oh,
Freaky. I'm gonna share as quickly as I can.
no, you
But
will take
I
your time, girl.
had this dream where I saw a clock and it was like 10:15, and I knew the teacher was gonna come in at 10:30. And then I had all these assignments to do. I had about five, and I was scrambling because I'm like, oh my god, I only have 15 minutes. I procrastinated, and then I somehow lost the assignments. So I was like even more freaked out. And I woke up. Then a few days later, I don't remember the amount of time. It could have been a month. It could have been a few days. I woke up. I had a dream again, and I looked at a clock. It was the same exact clock, and it was 10:28. And then a few more days later, I saw the same clock, and it was 10:30. And it was so funny because I was like, the teacher was coming in at 10:30. Like that was the dream. All three dreams were like that. Freaky, right? Like anyways, I still don't really understand the significance, but when I did the math, the numbers had something to do with like specific time periods, like specific dates and everything. This was a couple
Hmm.
years ago, so it was like I had to do the math and everything to figure out like what days it fell on, and there were very specific events that took place on those dates. It was kind of, but it was like what you just said. It reminded me of that. I was kind of freaky, but anyways, that's yeah, that was it. Honestly, oh my god, that kind of like
Yeah.
gave me deja vu.
But yeah, but probably that is, oh, you see, it's 11:11 now. But
Oh my god. Oh,
but
creepy.
yeah, of course, the students, like the teacher appear when the students is ready. So and it's not the duty of the teacher to go and grab the student.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So that's why the more we heal our family, and the more we attract and the right people, the people that needs it. If I could have myself, if I could go back in time when my awakening hit the shit in the fan, if I had myself as I'm now, that would be really helpful.
Like with the knowledge that you have now.
Yeah.
Then yeah, no, yeah, I get what you mean.
So I realize the knowledge that I have now, and like, yeah, oh, good night, Bradley. Oh, I can't pronounce names so badly. Anyway, Bradley. Um, but yeah, so the idea of being that person that we didn't had,
I see what you mean now.
that is essentially our job, because all the knowledge that I have now, like if I had it back then, it would be really freaking helpful. And
Absolutely. Maybe
instead we
like
had to learn it in the hard way, but
yeah,
that is what we're here for.
maybe that's the kind of the thing that's gonna help when I said shit hits the fan, and everybody goes through like catastrophe or whatnot, it's like maybe
Yeah,
that's
because
the
it's gonna
for everybody
happen.
kind of
It's
wake up
gonna
at the same time. Like a
it's
great
gonna
awakening.
it's gonna happen when they're gonna start to do something with them, with like economically wise, something is happening with the money. We're gonna have a kind of a bank crap. There's gonna be bank not withdrawing cash. Uh, so basically, what's happened is that spirit. So in order for people to wake up, they have to suffer, and this is something that people do not understand.
Yeah.
So people will be like, um,
That's cute.
So
Yeah.
people would be like, it's not that I'm happy. It's not that I'm happy when bad things happen to people, but kind of. It is because I know that evolution just comes through sufferings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what spirit is doing, it will destroy your job. It will take away your job. It will take away your relationship. It will take away your money, your
Yeah.
security. It will take you away everything.
Yeah.
Like
The
the
things, yeah.
choice is gonna be either you look at what you need to look at, or we're gonna rip everything you rely on for your mental stability. We're gonna rip it away from you,
Yeah.
and this is inevitable
Yeah.
for the soul who decided to take it on. But so essentially, what happened is that how people hold on to things is because, like, why they keep themselves stable is by keep doing the things that they always been doing, and repressing all the feelings and just wanting to live life in this story tale that they told you. So you study, you go to work, you work until you die, you pay bills, and you have a car and you have a house and all that lie shit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, now that the economics is going to collapse, so there's going to be trouble with your job, there's going to be trouble with a relationship, there's going to be a total panic basically. Then you haven't got no choice. Like sufferings will come,
Yeah.
and then you will start the journey. And we all know there is an initiation. I mean, I've been initiated many times. I don't know you, but the initiation means spirit coming in and being like, okay, you are initiated. So this means that for quite 10 year cycle of your life, you're gonna experience a lot of shit. You up for it? Good luck.
Oh Lord.
And we're gonna see when we're gonna meet when the initiation is finished, and we will tell you if you passed it or not.
It sounds exactly like that. It
Yeah.
really does.
So
Oh
when
my
people
goodness.
look at the Egyptian walls and you see this is the story that they were saying. This is exactly the story that they were trying to explain. You will go through pain to realize what actually existence is, like to awaken to what energy and spirit is. You need to go through sufferings. There is no other choice. And
Right.
then we're going to initiate you. Initiation mean we're gonna throw at you the shit of the la creme de la creme, and we're gonna see if you understand that you actually have a power uh, to change it all.
Right. It's amazing. And to me, it's incredible because right now it's when the knowledge of the secret is really, the secret of manifestation and being able to attain what you want and like the amount of
But
power.
you have to be, yeah, but you have to be because in the
Yeah,
same way they manipulated the Bible, they manipulated the Quran, they manipulated the fucking Indian Vedas, everything got manipulated. They manipulated the secret as well.
I agree with
Uh,
that. I absolutely
because
agree with
and they manipulate even like when I hear about actually me and Betty were talking about this Abraham Hicks,
Oh,
the
yes.
girl that speaks about manifestation.
Yeah.
There is still manipulation, and the manipulation always come when you have repression. So people
Mm,
the secret, it tells you, oh, you vibrate high, you attract high, you vibrate low. No, you can't repress one side of life. Is again the same Christianity served in a different
right.
thing. What does that mean? That I cannot have low vibration? What does that mean? That I can't want to kill somebody one day? Like,
Yeah, I see
mm,
what you mean.
this is still another brainwash of this. This the You have to be at peace with the darkness. You
Yes.
have to be at peace with the darkness, and you have
Yeah.
to be at peace with the light, and you
And you
have
have to
to
acknowledge it.
master both. So
Yeah.
this means that you have to be able to use your light, and believe me, my friend, you need to be able to use your darkness.
Yeah.
You can't repress one side, because if you repress one side, that side that you repress is gonna come out and bite your ass 10 times fold. What does it mean? Try and do 1 month, yes, of Esther from Abram X. Do 1 month ahead. I promise you, by the end of the month, there's gonna be one day that you wake up and you want to destroy the fucking everything. You want to destroy yourself because you are not positive. You want to
Yeah.
destroy whoever you give the fault then, because it's like, I want to be, so this person put me out of alignment, or that thing put me out of alignment, or that. No, my friend, no.
Yeah.
This is all here for you. The dark and the light are here for you. You can't escape one from the other.
Yes.
Eh,
Yeah.
what is the point when you have to feel bad? Own that shit. It's as simple as that. Own that fucking shit. You want to feel bad all day long? Stay in bed, cry it out for a week, and then there's gonna be a day that you have to feel good, my friend.
Right. Right. You
You
know what is
can.
crazy? The crazy thing is that when we're babies and we're infants, we cry when we have needs, you know? And then as we get older, we're expected to suppress all of that. And it's like, you know, one of the main things that I started learning when I first started my spiritual journey, like you were saying, watch the children. That was something that Spirit told me. Watch the children,
Observe the
was
children.
the children.
Observe the
And I'm
children.
like, you know, they express themselves fully. They are themselves fully. And we condition children to repress and repress. And then we wonder why we're so miserable as adults.
But
We
that's what
can't
I'm
be
saying. Why
ourselves.
do
Yeah,
you think we are fucked up? It's because we have
exactly.
been repressed.
And then we have to like unlearn of that, all of that, and then we have to learn to communicate and we have to learn to express ourselves in a healthy way where we're just literally expressing our most basic of
A
needs.
basic of the shit. Yeah.
It's insane, yeah. But I no, but I'm saying like it just is so crazy that right now all of these different types of knowledge are surfacing. Now that like this darkness that's trying to take over and do all these things
Well,
to
because remember, 2020 was the start, the beginning of the year of the revelation. So
right.
the truth, all those topics are emerging because they have
Yeah.
been suppressed. And again, what you suppress come back in another way, in another side, in another shape, in another time, but it come back.
And it takes over. It takes over much worse, yeah.
And
So
it takes.
it's really nice, yeah.
But it's the
But
same for sexuality. Like, I got made feel ashamed so much for my sexuality since when I was young. And then I even had like spiritual people telling me, oh, you need validation. In reality, you show your body because you want validation from men. It's like, you don't have the fuck idea why I show my body, my friend. I show my body because I've been repressed, because they told me there was something wrong with it. They told me that it was something wrong with my vagina, with my body, with my libido, with my sexual energy. They ashamed me for what I am, for the instinct I have. And now that I am adult, nobody will ever disrespect that ever again. And if I need to have an OnlyFans, or if I need to have picture of me, is none of body else business, is not my own. And it doesn't mean that you can be the spiritual that put themselves in a pedestal and come and diagnose me like, oh, she's doing it for this reason. This is the point, is that just because many people do it, just because there are many women that really have self-esteem issues and really need validation, or
right.
actually they you need to understand that two things can look the same and be completely different. These people,
Right.
this is something that it's like when you have two children from the same family, but they evolve with completely opposite character. One became a drug dealer and the other became a priest, but they are from the same family. So it's the same thing. It's like some people would use makeup to cover their insecurity. Other
Right.
people would use makeup because they actually like and they find it artistic to put makeup
Yes.
on their face.
Right.
Some people would show their body naked because they need money or they need a validation from men or they need some sort of something. Other people can have picture of themselves naked because they don't give a shit about you, because they don't give a shit what you think about them. They don't have nothing to defend. So for them, if you see them naked, dressed, if you see their asshole, they don't give a shit. You understand? So it can look like that's why Jesus and all the spiritual people said don't judge, because literally you can have something that look identical and it does not come from the same source. It does not have nothing in common with each other, and
Right.
yet they look the same fucking thing. You get
Right.
me?
No, I get what
uh,
you mean. Yeah.
I met homeless people that like they look identical, and one was an heroin addict and the other one was a literal angel. Like when I met this person, I got full body chills, and source just told me this is one
Yeah.
of the hierarchy of the anyway, he was a fucking angel.
No, I believe you because they told me that they're in every aspect of society. Some are very
Yes.
wealthy, some are even homeless, and
Mm-hmm.
they're yeah, the chosen ones. Everyone's gonna know who they are from the homeless all the way up to the richest one because they're
It's
yeah,
impossible not to see their wings. It's
yeah,
impossible not to see their energetical vibration. Don't matter if they can dress like heroin addict, they can be in higher, as you said, hierarchy of society, lower hierarchy of society. It's not about that. And the
right.
same is for woman, and the same is for anything. You can have a singer. Like I remember one of my clients, she was a singer and she created those songs, and doing session with her, we realized that a lot of her song came from her wounded side. So
Mm,
she thought that she was creating out of light, out of her talents. In reality, she was creating still out of wounds. Um, so again, you this is duality though, and that's why it's so difficult for people to understand. It's literally because when you have even a murderer in front of you, oh, transcending duality, it's something that requires a lot of intellect. Also, I mean, understanding that that body that you see have a soul in it, and that soul have
yeah,
done multiple lives, and maybe in one life he was a hero, in this life he ended up like, there is so much that you need to transcend in order to transcend polarity, but that's
right.
why it's very hard, and that's why the government play with this, because then they put you
Mm,
black against white and woman against men, and and the rich against the poor, and then
yeah.
uh the
Wherever they can
religious
find
against the
divisions.
spiritual, and
Yeah.
on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then woman, another woman. Oh, you are we have the Puritans and we have the whore, and
Yeah.
it's all, and it's like people transcending duality is an act. Is it's really everything have to be wiped away from your head. Three-quarter of your knowledge needs to be wiped away from your head in order to transcend duality. Because
Yeah.
everything they taught you since when you were little, It's like
Yeah.
you are a good boy, you are a bad boy. This is good, this is bad. You're being good, you are being. So our whole life, the only thing they did, it's literally destroying our unity since the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yep. Yep. We need to learn the personal responsibility, personal accountability, and it's like, I noticed that categorizing things is so dangerous.
So
So,
dangerous. You
it's
cannot
so,
categorize nothing.
yeah. Like what one person does something, oh, all women are like this. One man does something, all men are like this. No, as opposed to like evaluating the individual for what they have done for that individual action, not their whole exist. Like you were saying earlier, their whole existence. But it's really like it's a case by case, and we just like somehow haven't figured that out as a society. Like, you know what I mean? I guess that's part of the evolution that we're going into, a time where we're becoming more self-aware, you know and one of the hardest things, like you keep saying duality, one of the hardest things to accept for me was understanding, once I was pulled from the church, I had to understand that I have the potential to achieve great darkness. And that was really hard to embrace because I was
Bravo.
so conditioned to believe that
Yes.
I
But
needed
that
to.
is the other thing.
Yeah,
Literally, that is the
yeah,
other brainwash.
you have to embrace the fact that you are potentially dangerous as well, that you can produce great darkness and danger for, but it's
Yeah.
like until you realize that, you keep calling yourself a good person. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I remember, oh, I'm a good person because I don't do A, B, and C, and D. But then when you really, really, really do your shadow work and you really embrace your dark aspects, you realize I am not a good person. And that doesn't mean I'm gonna do bad things, because I am
You're.
choosing.
It's
You
simply.
acknowledge your darkness, but that doesn't mean you're gonna act on it.
Yeah.
You're aware of it.
No, no, no. But listen, you
Putting
are
yourself.
capable of both, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And if you have the privilege to explore to what extent you can be good, I wish that all of you could experience the extent in the darkness that you can go, because that is who you are. So, I mean, if you are afraid of your darkness, this means that you are afraid of your potential in extent.
Mm.
Because
Yeah. It's like a
yes,
very. It has to be
I
balanced.
can, yeah, I can explore how good I am, but if I don't explore how bad I am, then how can I know the extent of my being? I can't. And it doesn't mean that knowing your darkness means that you need to go out there and kill somebody. But what
Right.
I'm saying is, I can kill. Like, and I can be a bitch, and I can have a sharp tongue, and I can use revenge, and I don't need always to be the bigger person, you see.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
That's so important. Yep.
and if people want to challenge me in that sense, I will not fall into like the too good, oh my god, I'm a fool category,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know? Because
Yep.
that
And
means that I'm naive.
yep.
And naiveness doesn't mean intelligence, and naiveness doesn't mean purity. Naiveness is just naiveness.
Lack of knowledge. Yeah. Lack of understanding. Yeah.
Because people
So.
think, oh, but he's naive. Well, it's not because he's naive, it means that he's a good person. He's
Right.
naive, it means that he hasn't got enough experience to understand the capacity of his being.
Yeah.
So he doesn't understand even the capacity of what can happen to him through others because he's naive. He doesn't know it,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So, I mean, rejecting the darkness has been one of the reasons of why our society is fucked up at the
Yes,
level that is fucked up.
I
Because
agree.
they're always been suppressed, suppressed, hide, hide, and everyone telling you, oh, give the other cheek. Yeah, okay, I'm a fool then.
You know that?
Basically, they taught you to be a fucking fool.
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of? Conditioning, because that's what we tell children. We condition children to be agreeable, and
Yes.
that's how they get taken advantage of. That's how they fall prey to pedophiles. Who are the main people that are constantly telling women to be nice from a time they're able to talk and walk and whatever? Men. And I'm not doing that to say like as like a the gender war thing, but
No.
men have constantly been telling people you got to be nicer, you got to be polite, you got to this and that, and it's like I saw a couple of videos of women who are teaching their children like gentle parenting and all those things. So I watched them because, obviously I'm around children and one day I might be a mother. But they say if their child doesn't want to hug someone, they don't
Don't.
force their child to hug that person because
Of
they're
course.
they're teaching their children to trust their instinct. Even if that person gets offended, you know, that person's like, oh my God, why don't they want to hug me? Why are, and adults are expected to tell them, oh no, go hug your uncle or your aunt. But it's like, no,
No.
that means that she doesn't feel right. So she doesn't have to hug you because the parent is teaching that child to trust their instinct as opposed to being nice or just doing things that are being nice. That will get you in so much trouble and so
But
much.
this is.
Why are we telling? It's like the
But that's
only thing I,
because we have been brainwashed to be the people pleasing. We have
yes,
been in that, like, literally brainwashed to that. But not only, even at school. I mean, why do you think it's normal to, like, force children to stay sitting in a square desk for like 8 hours? Like,
yeah, that's not normal. That is not. And it's like all the information surfacing about the medical industry and the school system that the mega wealthy, the people that are so wealthy, the Rockefellers, and I can't
mm,
remember the other names, but they literally made contracts with doctors and they said they were going to build institutions, but the agreement is that they had to teach their curriculum. So they literally had to, yes, they will take funding from these mega wealthy families to build hospitals, to get the technology and everything, but they had to teach their methods. And
yeah,
their
man.
methods were not preventive medicine, but reactive medicine, treating things after they happen, as opposed to telling people and educating people about how to
Of
prevent
course.
disease and to pump them with all this medication that ends up hurting them and keeping them sick as opposed to healing them. And the education system also was funded by one of these wealthy families, and it was just to pretty much make a generation of workers.
Yeah.
Literally, that stuff is in the internet. It's so easily accessible. I've seen people make videos about it, and it's
Oh,
like,
it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's
yeah,
nothing new. In the 60s, we were fighting this.
yeah. And
We
it's like,
knew this.
yeah, I think people have had enough really, because now everybody's like, we're
It's
up.
like in the past, it was like, oh, hippie, hippie, no, hippie, nothing. Like again, they tried to suppress them, and now
Yeah,
we are back again,
yep.
and it's
Oh,
gonna
we're
carry on like this.
like modern day hippies.
Yeah, we
It's
are the modern hippies.
yeah. So it's
But
pretty incredible.
there are so many lies that are even in, like, when I speak about giving birth, for example, that, like, we are meant to give birth vertical, not horizontal, because we can use the gravity force, and, like, in every fucking hospital in the world they put you horizontal to give birth.
Right.
I mean, I
That's
don't know, when people speaks about, like, conspiracy theories, sometimes I'm like, you don't need theory. You don't need a conspiracy theory. You literally just need to open your mother freaking eyes and
yep.
look at the basic of the stuff. The basic, like the way that you give birth against the fucking gravity force. The fact
Yep.
that what we eat is absolutely nothing that you know. You read the ingredient of stuff and it's like, what the fuck am I even eating? The stuff
Yeah.
that you put on your head, like, you read a shampoo, you read the ingredient, and then you're like, I mean, I'm
They have
like, people,
ammonia releasers. Ammonia is what they use to formaldehyde releasers in shampoo. That's what they use to preserve dead bodies. And it's in our shampoo. And it's known to be cancerous. And it's like, like when this whole awakening journey happened, I literally was told I needed to stop using certain products.
yes, me
The
too.
diet honestly has been the hardest part, but I don't eat fast food anymore and I barely have soda. But you wouldn't tell because I'm a bigger person. But it's like a lot
No,
of
but
the
yeah, it doesn't matter. It's literally about like even me. They told me no coffee anymore. There are certain things that are like heavily processed that I cannot have.
yeah,
Normal bread, like I mean, bread is made of fucking flour, water. This is what a bread is made: flour and water. You
right,
find me one bread that has two ingredients in it. It's impossible. It's
right.
all like so, and it goes from that to what we breathe. So I mean, we can't be perfectionist, like you can't be absolute. We are in the middle of this shit anyway, so you will not escape it. Like,
Right.
it's everywhere. The air you breathe, the food you eat,
Yes.
the stuff you put in your body, the stuff you watch on TV. So there is no escape. Like here we are, and here we are. But the veil is thin now, and there are things that are easy to see, and we need to in tune, like put ourselves in, like tuning into what is meant to be,
Yeah.
like how something is meant to be, not relying on what you know about a topic, but use your fucking brain and think, okay, how is it meant to be?
Mm,
When even if you have a child, and people will be like, we need to do courses for parents. You don't need fucking courses. Just observe what is straight in front of you, like
yeah.
don't do things just because somebody one day did that to you. Do things for, like, use common sense, detach from all those beliefs that you have, and try to create just your way to do things,
Yeah.
whatever they are. If it's cooking, or if it's teaching to your children, like, I remember I used to go babysitting, and the mother used to laugh because when they were going crazy, because she used to give them sugar, and every time they would eat too much sugar, they would start to go nuts, like
Oh,
running, and they go hyper with sugar. And so I remember, like, I used to grab them by the hand and just like sit them down, grab it by the hand, and I would be like, let's breathe together. Oh, 1, 2, 3, and I was like
the kids
breathing
for
with
breath
them.
work.
But I was like, I was squeezing their hands so strong that they could not just, like, they would have to do it.
Yeah.
And so I remember, like, after a while, one of the two girl, she looked at me, she's like, okay, okay, I understand now. I feel more calm. What shall we do? So, and it's funny 'cause just a minute before they were like jumping and throwing shit on the floor and like colors. And I was like, well, am I a genius? I don't think so. It's just common sense, is it? It's
Mm,
like children is proven that like they can feel also your vibration. So if you are agitated, you tend to have agitated children. If you are
yeah.
agitated when you are pregnant, they tend to absorb your agitation and they tend to come out with that energetical imprint. Of course, they've been 9 months sitting in you, and if you've been
Mm.
vibrating in the level of anxiety, how do you think you're gonna poop out this baby?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really crazy, but it will definitely impact that child.
But people don't think,
Yeah.
like, I see even customer of mine, like, or people in town, like pregnant with two phones, like with 9 months belly, with two phones, talking about business, be stressing out, shouting at the phone. I was like, and then, you know what happened? Because I can see it. I can see it already. I don't even need to tap into my psychic gift. It's just all there. Is that
Right.
you're gonna poop out this baby, and this baby is gonna be heavily distressed to the point that the mother doesn't know how to deal with this baby. And what happened? The mother feels rejected from the baby. The mother goes in post depression postpartum.
Postpartum. Hmm.
The baby go in stress postpartum, and no one of the two realizes that is the relationship that they created for 9 months. The mom think selfishly. She think it's just her body, her work, her career. No, girl, you literally are an incubator machine right now. The only thing you are is a container of a being. So if you are stressed, of course it's gonna go to the fetus. If you are angry, if you whatever is gonna happen to you is literally gonna be vibrating imprinted on the child.
Right.
Like,
That's also true for a post because they have to breastfeed as well. So they're still receiving, the mother still has to watch her stress after having the baby. She's
yes,
still imparting nutrients to the baby.
yes,
So it's like I've seen people like breastfeeding their kid and stressed or like on the phone and doing things and it's like that and then the baby has like indigestion or something, things like that. But
yeah.
it's really crazy. But no,
Because who teach you that? Who explain you that?
oh,
Nobody.
you're asking me or
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, who explains to mothers those things?
I
Nobody.
mean nobody, yeah.
Who, who? And yes, it's common sense, but most people doesn't have it.
Right. Like I've heard
So
some people tell a loved one that was pregnant, like, hey, don't try not to stress or this and that, but it's not very common. It's not as common as we would think. But I have heard it, it's just not and I used to be around a lot of pregnant people all the time. But yeah, it was not very common that you would hear someone say, that they were trying to take care of themselves extra while they were pregnant, you know.
yeah,
And
some people, and even the work industry anyway, they treat you like you're a fucking cow. Like, oh yeah, 5 months, 3 months before, the maternity leave, all that stuff. Is literally like, there is no respect of like uh, the
actually, the laws are better over there in Europe, I think. As far as postpartum here, they give them, I believe, 30 to 60 days. And over there, the men also get paid
yeah.
paternity. Here, they don't. It's a much more stressful situation here than it is.
But
Because,
even if it's better over here, but it's
yeah,
still literally treating you like a cow. Actually, a cow get more freedom, to be honest. Like,
wow.
um, you know,
Yeah, no, it's really crazy. But yeah, here when I was, because I used to be around a lot of pregnant women. After they would get, I think when I was in the military, they would get about 30 days to be home with their baby, and then it was straight to daycare. And it's a system created to separate the connection and the bond from the mother and the child. It breaks it. They try
again,
to separate the child
division.
from the mother as
Yeah,
early as possible and get the child used to being in that way, because the thing that they're going after, I believe, is the mind of the child. Children are so
yeah,
incredibly impressionable, and it's like they're trying to really put certain ideas in as soon as they're able to even understand information. And it's really sad, but yeah. Honestly, I keep telling whenever I have these kind of conversations with my friends here, I'm like, I'm ready to move out of the States because there's a lot going on here. But then, you talk to people from other parts of the world and it's like they have their countries going through their own set of challenges. So it really doesn't feel like anywhere it's safe anymore. We
No,
have to
yeah,
trust in the process. Like we're all in this thing together. We're all on the same boat, really.
yeah. But
So
all together, we like in each country, we are in each continent, we're battling more or less the same shit. I mean, different story, maybe different topics in some country, but in the end of the day, we literally the whole world is awakening to the fact that it was all a lie. So there is so much that needs to be just rewritten, re-established, recreated. Like it's all old now. Even the most common thing, like I was talking, people who like would be in the science point of view. Science is confirming most of the things that spiritual people have been saying for like forever. So,
yes,
I mean, they did a conference in Rome already like 6 years ago. And this conference is called Spirit Science and is made from the Dalai Lama and the best university doctor from Italy. And they were saying, like, the Dalai Lama and those professors were saying, yeah, like, discovery from Tesla, discovering from Einstein, they are
wow,
all talking about the spiritual dimension. Like Tesla said it multiple times, you want to comprehend the universe, you need to speak of vibration, sound, and energy. Einstein
wow,
was saying the theory of the relativism, even if it's not perfect, but what he meant was that everything is fucking relative. So there is no good and bad because all is relative. All is there are
mm,
different layer of reality. Literally the reality that me and you are is not the reality of my neighbor. I can go right now. My neighbor is a totally in another world, girl.
yeah, I believe,
Like his beliefs,
yeah,
what he believes about the world, it's literally we are next to each other and we are in two fucking different timelines. Next to each other. We are in two different worlds.
right. That's
So
amazing. Yeah, it's pretty crazy though. Like, I'm
yeah,
incredible.
it, people are not aware, like they think, oh, this is the world, this is the human, we are all here and we are all, no, like you are in one dimension. You are in one reality according to how much work you've done and according to how much you can comprehend. And your beliefs is like, I would hear people saying, I'm shy. Cool.
Mm,
Well, they are in their world, they are in a world in which they are shy. And so if they are shy, it means that in this fucking world they will not be able to do X, Y, and Z because they're shy. It's an illusion. It's not real. They could snap out of it instantaneously and they could start to do crazy shit that they never even imagined. But yet they chose that timeline just with one belief, just by believing I'm shy. Okay, is already you already chose a timeline, you already chose a reality, you already chose a label, you already boxed yourself in. It's done.
yeah.
And
No,
it's
I
like this for all many other things. It's like the scarcity mindset that we were saying before. If you live in scarcity, you are in the timeline of scarcity. Your world is gonna be scarcity. You are confined in that.
mm, that's the reality, yeah, that you're creating. Yep.
That's it. And I'm next to you. And I could have the opposite, like the crazy abundant mindset that I think that there is more than enough for me and you. and
Yeah.
we can have a cappuccino together, being sitting at the same table, and we are not in the same world.
Yeah. It's
The
true.
things the things that are gonna happen to you are going to reflect that thought, and the things that are gonna happen to me are gonna reflect my thought.
Yes. You know what's insane about that? That now whenever I hang out with people who are like you were saying, like in a different world, it feels like I'm trying to mix oil and water. It's really, really interesting, but it's just like we just are not a vibrational match. No matter how much I try with a specific person, we are just not a vibrational match. And
Of
I can't
course.
really put my finger on it, but it literally feels like I'm trying to mix water and oil. And it just
Yeah,
doesn't,
no, that is because
I
you're
have to
not.
just accept
Yeah,
that there's nothing
you're
there.
not meant to. Mm.
Yeah. So it's hard. It feels like, you know, honestly, it's to the point where, like when you get like a weird feeling about someone and you really can't like pinpoint what it is, but just something feels off.
Yeah.
And they haven't given you any indication of what it could be. You just know something's not all like quite right. And it's just like you're constantly around this person because you live together or whatever the case may be. And it's just like no matter what you do, you just kind of like have to be on friendly terms, but you just know you can't be friends. You just don't match. And it feels odd. I don't know how to explain. It doesn't mean they're a bad person or that whatever the case may be. Just like you were saying, energetically, just in different planes, I guess. So
Yeah. And you're not meant to force anything or
right. Yeah.
mix anything. I had people that literally like disappeared from my reality in matter of weeks. And I was asking the universe, like, I said, what the fuck is this? Like, these people were messaging me almost every day. What happened? And they just showed me my vibration, and they were like, girl, you did a jump, and
Wow.
that jump, they can't handle it. Like,
Wow.
if you expose yourself to these people, you will trigger the shit out of them. And
So they're
and
like a no.
they just disappeared. And I even, some of them I asked, like, the girl who the girl, like, actually I was about to basically be on the street, and this girl said to me, like, come in my house for 2 weeks, I give you some time. And I stayed in her house for 2 weeks, and as soon as I moved out of her house, she just disappeared.
Wow.
And I texted being like, I said, oh, thank you for, like, getting me in your house. And I said, but if you want, I knew her for like 9 years previous to that. So,
Wow.
and when I told her, you want to come and see my house, she never even picked up the phone back. And it was such an odd behavior that I even said to her, like, but have I done something or have you done something? Because, you
That's
know,
how it feels. Yeah.
if I was like, I'm not getting this. I was in your house for 2 weeks. We've been sleeping together in the same bed. And then as soon as I move out, you just disappear like that. But the universe, again, spirit told me, is like, yeah, your light made her so uncomfortable in the house that you trigger the shit out. Like her shadow just come out. And so some people are meant to be just, they will just naturally just move away because they
Yeah.
cannot handle you, essentially.
Right. Wow, that's pretty crazy. And that happened recently?
Well, yeah, in March.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, no, it's been a lot of crazy stuff. It's crazy. Like you've been going through all these shifts. my sister has been going through it too. Like I've been going through some weird stuff. I'm like a lot of movement mostly, like moving like physical location or moving from like opportunities or jobs or a lot of weird
Well,
repercussions.
always when you're making a jump, and you said this even earlier when we were on the phone, it's like when you make a jump, it's like a lot of the shit of the shit happen first,
Yep.
like, and then the good stuff come in. But
Yeah.
first,
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And it was just so weird that my sister was going through it too. And I do talk to my sister about spiritual things, but she's definitely more she's become more receptive since her boyfriend is also going through a process. But she just
mm,
listens. But she has told me that she would just rather focus on just going to work and going home. But lately she's been a little more open to it. So I'm like, I wonder what it is with her, like what she's going through. And like, my guides tell me every now and then, like, oh, she might be going through this, like if she's about to start a process or she's about to go through a transition, they'll let me know. So I can let her know so that she doesn't freak out because she's so caught up in like stability. She it has to have stability. Me, on the other hand, I've been tossed around by spirit since I was born. I've literally never like stayed in one place. I've been moved so many times. The longest I've
yeah,
ever
but
been in school
I
was
think
2 years.
yeah, stability has a different. It's not stability is not. Not everyone gets stability in the same way.
Yeah.
So some
For,
people, for stability, they mean a house. Some
yeah.
people, stability is money. Some people, stability means people.
Yeah.
Some people, stability means mental
Yeah.
stability. And so, yeah, everyone has their own version of what make you feel stable, essentially.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. For my sister has to do with financial stability.
mm,
Like very secure. So mostly home, I guess, just being in one place. And me, on the other hand, I'm like, I feel like I have no choice over where I live or how long I'm gonna live there. It's just I feel like I'm constantly ripped out of
the
one place
goal.
and placed in another, and it just always works out. And I always end up in a better situation, even though it has like I have no choice over the matter. And I'm like, oh, I'm like kind of like you were saying earlier, like when is this gonna be over, kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah, well, I've been feeling quite gypsy too all my life, to be honest. Even though it wasn't maybe place I've been in here in UK for 10 years, but I never, yeah, I never managed to create like my nest or
Mm,
being in a place in a like, and my spirit is always been craving that. I was always repeating like, oh my God, I need my temple, or I need to create a temple.
mm,
Since I have memory, that I keep saying I need a temple, like, and I
wow.
was like, well, at some point it will come, this bloody temple. But yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh,
Um. Anyway, it's almost midnight, and
oh my God.
yeah, because we have a big. What time is it at your place?
7.
Okay, well, yeah, we had a bit of time lapse.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm setting
but
a
yeah, I'm so happy that we decided to go live with this conversation. Hopefully, I can download it and upload it on YouTube, and maybe I tag you underneath.
Okay.
Uh, oh yeah, because we don't follow each other on YouTube. I think we still have
Mm,
to do that.
we got to do
Mm,
that. Yeah, for
mm.
sure. Oh, it was so
And
great catching up.
sorry,
It was so great catching up. We haven't spoken in such a long time.
very long time,
It
probably.
was overdue.
Wow, it's like a year or 6 months.
It's been more than 6 months
It's
since we
been
left.
more than, yeah,
Yeah, because I had COVID in January, so we haven't spoken. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this This crazy. We've been talking about many things.
Yeah. We've been talking for hours, literally. It was sunny out. The sun was out where you were when we
Yeah,
started.
damn, 6 hours ago.
Yeah, it's just at some point my guides were like, "You guys need to get on live because other people need to hear this." So it was like I literally cut Alice off in the middle of the conversation. We're like, "Oh my god, my guides
No,
will."
but I felt this as soon as you said it. I was like, in the beginning, my mind was like, yeah, we can do that tomorrow. And I was like, no, now, right
Right.
now.
Oh my goodness. But yeah,
Anyway, it was a pleasure to talk to you. And
yeah,
we're probably going to do this again, especially if we can speak about, I think family dynamic is something that I would like to keep discussing more in the detail as well. Like,
yeah.
because we can speak about the wounds with our feminine and masculine side, or anyway the metaphorical, the wounds that we have in our own masculine and feminine energy represent the wounds that we have with our father and mother. So
Yes.
eh, that could be something that would be good to go into depth, so that each one of you can understand, like, what is the feeling that you have towards your mother and your father, so that we can heal your own feminine and masculine energy inside of you. I think it's very useful to know.
You're very knowledgeable. I really learn every time I speak with you.
Thank you.
I
Well,
learn a
I
lot.
you do confirm a lot of shit for me, which is great.
Yeah,
Like, your guys are always on point when I need, like,
it's a little freaky, but yes.
yeah.
Still getting it up.
Anyway, good night, guys, and we keep
Oh.
in touch, me and you, Georgina, yeah?
Okay, sounds good. Bye everybody.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
Good night.